Hello! If you didn't know, I drove all the way from Pennsylvania to here, Colorado. Now, obviously the first thing I did was go to a climbing gym, but there's one key difference between Pennsylvania and Colorado, and that's the elevation. Where I live and normally climb, the altitude is practically sea level, but in Denver, it's about 5,500. So I wanted to see how that would affect my bouldering before I tried anything outdoors. For this, I went to the Spot climbing gym. They have 5 different locations in Colorado, which is why I chose them. Now this climbing gym had a different way of tagging their climbs. They used circles with pluses or minuses in them to indicate the grade. And I didn't feel like looking at what that meant, so I just kind of YOLO'd it, so I didn't know the grade of anything that I was climbing. Now obviously I could figure out that the jug ladders were easy and I warmed up on those, kind of, but I mainly just kept trying different things. I checked at the end what the scale was, and it turns out that I had been flashing or getting in a couple of goes V4 to 5s, which is pretty good. Now the thing I noticed the most was how tired I got. Not only was my session just not that long because I got tired, but I would get pumped out on individual climbs a lot quicker. I was also very out of breath, something that's not normal for bouldering, at least not normal for me. That seemed to be the only thing that would really limit me in my climbing. It's just how quickly I got tired. I didn't want to go too hard, as I wanted to save myself for the proper outdoor alpine bouldering that I'm eventually going to do. So I just kind of cruised around doing things that wouldn't take me an entire session to figure out. But like I said, I just got tired. Usually my sessions can easily go to around 3 hours, but here I only climbed for an hour and a half and I was pretty beat afterwards. But it's not like it was an hour and a half of intense board climbing and that's why it was a short session. It was just the altitude. Now I should be in this area long enough to adapt to the altitude, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem in the future. But it is crazy how quickly it makes you go from 0 to 100 exhaustion-wise. When you're not doing anything, you don't notice the altitude at all. But the second you do something, it hits you like a truck. I also found myself getting very hot while climbing. I don't think that has anything to do with altitude. Maybe it was just getting tired and sweating, or maybe it was just hot that day. I don't know. But I usually don't get like really hot and sweaty during climbing, but I did in this session. This purple one, I just couldn't handle the pocket on my left hand. My one finger just felt tweaky, I guess is the best way to describe it, and I didn't want to push it on the pocket. I also just couldn't really figure out the sequence, but whatever. Now this purple one, I was just dumb and didn't see a hold, and that's why I failed the climb. The second big purple hold that I'm grabbing right now is a lot flatter than the first one, which is why I went back to it. And on the second go, I get it very easily because I realize that there's another handhold. gym had a lot of fun sets. Here at the end of my session, I was trying this green climb, but after about 5 goes, I realized that I just didn't have the energy for it. There's a bunch of blocky underclings, at least that's how I think you're supposed to do the route, and I just didn't have the energy. I also got pumped out on the purple one next to it. I then continued just completing other climbs that I knew I could do, like this black one. It wasn't very complicated and it had a lot of underclings, and I think it was given V3 to 4. I don't really remember, and I never actually checked. This purple one gave me a little bit of trouble at the end, and I pumped out again, but that's mainly because of how inefficient I did the beginning. I think I swapped hands about 3 different times doing piano matches, which just isn't smart. If you have to do that, then you're probably not doing the climb right. And the go where I got the climb was a lot smoother, and I did it in the proper way, I think. And as I finish this climb, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe because there's going to be a lot of content coming soon with outdoor alpine bouldering. So that should be fun. I think my next video will be in another gym as I continue to acclimate to the altitude, but I'll make it some sort of challenge so it's fun. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Peace.